Welcome, everyone. Let's see who's here. Hello. Let's see. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's make it a little bit brighter here. Okay. Kate June, Gabriella Souza, Ahimang, Tegi. Welcome, everyone. Jordy. Hey, Jordy. Chris O. Shout out to all the members here. We'll get started in just a moment. You know, I always start a few minutes early just to make sure everyone gets here. Oh, yes. So, it said the water looks still. No. It's just, we're very far away. So it only looks like it's not moving. But I am here. Let me move my screen. I'm here at the beautiful city of Busan. And I believe that's the Kwangali area, the bridge in Busan. I'm actually not sure. I didn't really go there very much. Yes, Busan is the original city that I lived in when I was in Korea. Oh, Poya S. Halloen. Hallochen. Hallochen. I don't know how to say the CH sound in German. Hallo, is it Hallochen or is it Hallochen? Hallochen? I don't know. From Germany. Poya S. I should have figured Poya S would come in with a donation before I even say hello to everyone. Hold on. Let me put this over here. I wrote it too far to the right. Poya S. And why is it always specific? Why is it always 229? Thank you, Poya S. Dab. Well, we'll get started in just a minute. For people who are just coming in now, we always start at 2 o'clock, but I start a few minutes early just for announcements and stuff. But if you're coming in now, you're not missing anything yet. Secretive, hello. Lauren Starrett. Welcome, everyone. Oh, it's quiet. Hold on a second. Just a sec. Should be okay. It shows here that it's normal volume. Is it okay? Yeah, I'm verifying here. It looks fine. It actually looks a little bit loud, if anything. Okay, if a couple people say it's not loud. Yeah, like I say, I can see the audio levels. They're actually kind of too loud right now. Audio's fine for me. Audio's quiet. It's working well now. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't sound too loud, really. Okay, maybe it's just you. Because I can see it's like peaking here almost. It's quite loud right now. Maybe YouTube's just dumb. Could be. Maybe your volume knob is really low on YouTube. Could be. Or it could be something else entirely. I have no idea. Yeah, it shows 100%. Audio's all right. Well, looks like it should be okay then. Okay, RS Manhunter. Do you prefer Seoul or Busan? Honestly, although I lived in Busan for like a year, Seoul. RS Manhunter. 2 euros. Yay. Thank you. I'll do a dab for RS Manhunter as well. Yeah, I think if you're visiting Korea and it's your first time or second time, Seoul is where most stuff is at. Busan has a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Busan because I was there for long enough to check out like everything to do there. So like I'm really familiar with what stuff is there. But there's more stuff in Seoul. it's more foreigner friendly. By that I mean you can do more stuff more easily there without having to like do lots of research. Like if you just you arrive in Seoul, there's plenty of stuff for you to do. Busan, on the other hand, you have to kind of be ready for it to get the most out of it, because there's a lot of stuff. It's just different. Like some more cultural events would be closer to Busan. Definitely more things related to the ocean, you know, more seafood types of things. Really cool marketplaces you're not going to find in Seoul. Music performances, concerts, like stuff like traditional style would be better in Busan. But yeah, Seoul's great. Seoul has everything. Small, welcome Small. Okay, I don't know. Maybe if you say your audio is quiet, maybe try refreshing the stream, since I guess most people say it's okay. Some people are saying the audio is a little quiet. So I'm not sure. I'm looking right here. I see it's on. I see my recorder. My recorder looks totally fine. I mean, I could like make it really loud, but it looks like it should all be okay. But if you're having audio problems, try refreshing the stream, because I'm not really sure how I could diagnose it. It looks perfectly fine on my end. Whereas last time it didn't. When people told me the audio was weird, last time I could see it was messed up. Oh, new member. Mikal. I'm not sure what that symbol is through the L. It's like, it's an L. Wait, no, it's not. Welcome, Mikal. Thank you, I appreciate it. Also give you a dab too. Mikal. Sopo is a package, yeah. Package. Though, yeah, that would be like a small package. Like a small thing. Sopo. Usually, though, people just refer to packages more commonly as... Oh, sorry, actually. Tekbe. Tekbe is the word for delivery, but that's also just usually how they refer to a delivery, like a package, like 택배가 왔어요. 택배가 왔어. You got a delivery. That's how you'd say package, or I have to send a package. 택배. Usually that's how you do it. But yeah, you could use sopo. It's just not as common, especially these days. I think some of the words that you might find in books, even from like 15, 20 years ago, as far as that, like some of these words used to be more common than they are today, I think. All right. I think, okay. Welcome. So first, I just wanted to give a thanks again, once more, before we get started. I just wanted to give another thanks to all the people who've donated since I've started the stream, as well as a special thanks to a few people who've given a lot. Specifically, A. Himang was the first one. James Kajok, so far, I think is the largest one. Ty Thatch and Peter. I've done a lot of upgrades here. I know if you're having audio difficulties, it might not be so such a great improvement for you right now. But yeah, I've been able to improve a lot of stuff. So one thing I did last week, I got a new microphone, new recorder for that, so we get better quality here. Also, I've got now I've treated the room with sound treatment panels. Let me show you. I looked up, I wanted to get better sound panels in my room, and I searched on the internet, and like really good ones are like $200-300 each. So I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I built my own. So I made this one. This is actually the worst one because I didn't iron it. This was like my first one. The other ones are on the wall. Yeah, it actually works pretty good. I think they cut out a lot of the noise in the room so that it's much better for recording and for live streaming. So I put those up over the room. Again, that's also that was also thanks to donations that I was able to build those. So I think I built 6 panels for about $200 total, including like all the supplies for making it. So yeah, I think great deal on that. Let's see. All right, yeah. So I really appreciate that. I just wanted to say, like, in case you're wondering, like, what does your donation go to when you give a donation to me? It goes toward this channel. So, like, I'm not I don't want to use your money that you guys give me for like, other random stuff. It goes pretty much all into just improving live streams, improving videos and stuff like that. So yeah, just want to say thanks. Another quick announcement. Again, I know a lot of you already know this, but if in case you don't know, I do have a new book out, Korean Reading Made Simple. So far, the reaction's pretty good. People like it. It's a bunch of reading examples in native level Korean, as well as grammar explanations and vocabulary. And it's kind of like you can read native level materials without having to be native level yourself. So that's the whole point of the book. So yeah, it's been out for a few weeks now, and people seem to like it. So just a reminder about that, as well as also as of a month or so ago, there's been merchandise. I finally got I got something. This is just one of them, a shirt. It's all designed by me, so there's not that much. That's why I can't spend days doing designs because I have to do videos. But I did do a few designs, so you can find those there. There's the shirt. I think the shirt is so far, this one I think is the most popular item. That's why I ordered it. But there's also a few other things. I have like a charsu shirt, like a hoodie and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. As well as a quick announcement, just remember you can get the worksheets and outlines for every single live stream from Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, even the $1 Patreon members, you can get these right now. The outline will be available as soon as the stream's over, but the worksheet's already there. So you can work on that along with the live stream today or afterward. Okay, that's all the announcements I have for today. Let's see. Stephanie Neves, I just bought your Korean Made Simple books. Nice! Welcome to the very long journey. 지난주 방송 놓쳤어요. Okay. Binky missed the last week's broadcasts, but 오늘 방송 기대돼요. Nice! You're looking forward to this broadcast today. I'm suffering from insomnia. I guess it's good. Oh no. All right, well, if you got insomnia anyway, as long as I'm not making it worse, feel free to stick around. Are the live streams still part of a season? No, I ended the seasons. I started doing it where I would do one season and then take a break and do 2 seasons, take a break. But I decided instead I would just do 3 live streams and then 1 break, and then 3 live streams and then 1 break, kind of like that, which is a little bit better because it's more predictable, but also it has kind of the same effect, but without having to break it up into big gaps. Because like when I stopped doing them for a while, it was kind of hard to like, I had to, I felt like I was kind of reminding people that they existed again. And I want people to expect them normally, except just for every 3 weeks, there won't be one. I expect Billy in full humble. I ordered Common Mistakes. Nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed making that book together with Talk to Me in Korean. That was fun. We had a nice collaboration with that. I just bought Korean Made Simple 3. Nice. Yeah, 3 is definitely the densest because 3, I was like, okay, this is my last one. I got to put everything into it. So I really put a lot of stuff into 3. Korean Reading Made Easy. Nice. Yo, yeah, welcome. Oh, Zilly, hell. Hello. I was like, hello. And then I stopped and I'm like, wait, I just said, hell. Yes. Hello, Zilly. I second Billy wearing hanbok for Seoul. I would third that if I had a hanbok, I would wear it. Okay, so the prerequisites for today's live stream, let's get started, are you need to know conjugation, basic conjugation rules for the yo form and stuff like that, as well as sentence structure, so basic sentence structure, and you should know basic verb endings. Now, I don't mean every possible conjugation, every possible sentence structure part, and every verb ending. You don't need to know that, but you should know a good portion because today's lesson is for beginners, but I would say it's more toward, it's mostly going to be useful once you're at least a high beginner. So I'll say that again. Today's lesson is mostly for high beginners, but also friendly toward intermediates. So it's not going to be too basic. Oh, Carrie. Hold on, the board doesn't flash when I do that. Let me manually do this, if this will work. Yay! There, now I made it flash manually. Yeah, Carrie, wow. Nice, thank you. Whoa, it's a pretty big donation. Thank you, Carrie. That's awesome. Let me give you the Carrie Rich dab. Okay, let's get started with the lesson today. So, we're going to be learning about no-ta and do-da. Now, if you find most lessons, you'll see that these can be used mostly interchangeably. And yes, you can use no-ta and do-da in most of the same places. But there are some differences that are actually very important to know. And there are a few cases where you need to use one or the other. And we're going to be talking about that. So if you only are familiar with no-ta and you're not really familiar with do-da, I think you will learn something from today's lesson, even if you're intermediate or possibly even advanced. So yes, so first of all, we need to talk about what these mean. So first we have no-ta. Now, no-ta literally means to put something down. Now, by that I mean you take an object, something or whatever, putting it down and letting go. Letting go, putting something down, letting go, like that. That's what no-ta means. So actually, sometimes Korean people will use this to say, let go. You know, Elsa from Frozen was not singing 놓아주세요 in her song, but it also does mean let me go or let something go. So it really has that meaning of putting something, putting it down, wherever, anywhere, and then letting go of it. So you've put it down. So it's not just placing it down. It's this kind of action. That's what you get from no-ta. So you could say, you know, if someone's like pulling on your shirt and you want to say, stop that. You know, you could say, 하지 마요, 하지 마세요. But it's more common in Korean. Korean people will just use this one. You know, 놔줘. You know, whatever. Let me go. 놔. That's what you can use for that. So it's the whole putting something down and letting it go. do-da, however, is a little bit different. Now, do-da actually also means to put something down. So both no-ta and do-da mean to put something down. However, do-da is a little bit different than no-ta in its meaning, because do-da can also mean to keep something somewhere. To keep something. So no-ta is kind of like this. No-ta is you put it down, you let it go, goodbye. Do-da is kind of like this. It has the feeling of like you're keeping something where it is. Not just putting it down and letting go and walking away, but putting it down and then kind of keeping it there. So it has the additional meaning of keep. Now, this will be useful to know for when we talk about the differences between using this with a verb, but it also kind of explains why these two can get used interchangeably in a lot of situations. Again, they both mean to put something down. If you've never seen do-da ever in your entire life before, just learn no-ta for today's lesson and you'll be fine. It's used more often. So that's something also to know, is that no-ta is used more commonly than do-da, just in general in Korean, even though their meanings are slightly different. Okay, another thing I want to talk about before we go into the actual grammar form. Let's see. No-ta and no-ta. Now, these are very different. I used to get these confused in my head all the time when I was a beginner because, for one, I couldn't correctly pronounce no-ta and no-ta differently. I've said them both as no-ta, no-ta, because I didn't know how to do that sound. No-ta with o, with this vowel, and no-ta with o, this vowel. These have different meanings. No-ta means to put down, as we just talked about. No-ta means to put in, as in to put inside. So to put in, like I'm going to put my credit card, into the machine. No-ta. I'm going to put my credit card on the table. No-ta. Or put a book down on the table. No-ta. There's a kind of there's a cheesy way to remember what the difference is between these two verbs because they're completely different. If you think of no-ta, I like to imagine it like the top is a hand putting something down, right? So your hand is putting something down. No-ta. No-ta. No-ta, however, is a hand putting something into something, right? Like against the wall, putting it into the wall. No-ta. So that's just kind of a dumb way that I memorized the difference between these. I don't think anyone really told me this, but I'm sure other people have thought of this type of memorization trick too. So yeah, 놓다, 넣다. Different verbs. We're not going to be talking about 넣다 today because that's just a regular verb. There's no grammar form associated with 넣다. 놓다 is what we're going to be learning for today. Okay, so what we've got today is this. So here's the form we're going to be using today. You take an action verb stem, so let's just do 하다, and you conjugate it like you would normally to the yo form or any form. So you conjugate it, 하다 becomes 해, 먹다 to eat would become 먹어, just like that. And then you attach 놓다. So you would have 해 놓다 or 먹어 놓다. That's it. That's all you have to do to use this form. Take an action verb stem, conjugate it, and attach 놓다 to the end. What this means is two things. The main thing that it means, and I think if you search in grammar books, hold on, let me just check the chat for a second, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, donation, thank you. Okay, yeah, I kind of felt like all of a sudden, like, oh, I think I'm missing something. Grandpa Mikey. Oh, thank you, Grandpa Mikey. Yeah, I just suddenly felt like, I think I'm missing something in chat. Let me check the chat really quick before I keep going. And I saw it was already scrolled off the screen. Thank you, Grandpa Mikey. Really appreciate it. Got like a hair. No, that would never mind. This is like dust. Okay, so, all right, thank you again. So what this means is, if you search this grammar form on the internet, you might not find this definition unless you search my own videos. But when I was researching for this video, I was checking up how do other people teach it? What do other people explain it? And I found that they do it a little bit differently. What they teach it is as something, I'm not going to be teaching it today first, because I think that this is a little bit easier. I think this makes more sense with how to use it. And that is to do something for later. Yeah, because before I made this lesson, I wanted to check online. Let's see, like, well, how do other people teach it? What do other people teach this form as? And they teach it as more of just the literal meaning, but I think it's not so helpful for knowing how to use it. So we're going to talk about first, how is this actually used? This form is used to say that you are doing something for later, or to do something in preparation for something. For example, if you have a party tomorrow, so you're going to make sandwiches for the party. Well, if you're making sandwiches in preparation for the party, you're making sandwiches for later, you're doing it with 놓다 in Korean. So that's how this form is used. So let me go ahead and give you a basic example. Okay. Let's use a black. Okay, 불 means fire or light. So 불을 끄다 means to turn off the light. So now we have conjugated 불 꺼, 불을 꺼 놓았어요. We're just going to conjugate it like this for right now. So we're going to get the past tense of 놓다. Not the past tense of the 끄다. It's just conjugated normally. So what we're saying is, I turned off the lights. Past tense. 불을 꺼 놓았어요. 불을 꺼 놨어요. I turned off the light for later. I turned off the light in preparation for something. In preparation for something doesn't really seem to fit like in English right now. So let's just think of it as I turned off the light for later. So you're going downstairs, and when you go downstairs, you want to turn off your upstairs light. So 불을 꺼 놨어요. You turned off the upstairs light because Later, you're not going to need it. So you're turning it off for something in the future, and that is that later you're going to be staying downstairs and you're not going to need the upstairs light, like that. However, if you were to just say 불을 껐어요, that doesn't have any extra meaning of doing something in preparation or doing something for later. This would just mean by itself, 불을 껐어요, I just turned off the light. Nothing else. Perfectly fine to say. You go downstairs, 불을 껐어요, I turned off the light. 불을 꺼놨어요, I turned off the light for something later. So for something later, maybe, I'm not going to be going up there later, or I want to save electricity. I'm going to turn it off right now because I'm thinking about the future. That's the sort of meaning that you get with no-ta. And we'll talk about that a little more in detail when we go back to this actual meaning of the word no-ta. But just for right now, I want you to think about how this can be used to say something that you're doing in advance, or to say something that you're doing for later or in preparation for something. So this is just our first sentence. 불을 껐어요 or 불을 꺼놨어요. Okay. One other thing I should say is, notice this. 꺼놓았어요, 놓았어요, 놓았어요. If you were to say this fast, what you get is 놨어요, 놨어요. Most of the time when no-ta is used, it is conjugated like this. 놓아, 놓아. So, what you would actually write is 꺼놓았어요. It's the exact same thing as writing the full 놓았어요. But this is much more common. 꺼놓았어요. And, in addition, this is not really pronounced like 놓아, 놓아, like you think it might be, because it's spelled as 놓아. If you say 꺼놓았어요, 놨어요, 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 it gets pronounced pretty much almost identically to 놨어요. Now, before I get you guys pronouncing it exactly like 놨어요, it's not actually pronounced like 놨어요 strongly. It's 놨어요, 놨어요. It's a little bit closer to the original sound. So that 놨어요 is still kind of there. 꺼놨어, 꺼놨어, 놨어. Notice I'm not saying 놓았어, I'm not saying 놨어, I'm saying 놨어. So keep that in mind. But if you were to say just 놨어요, it'll sound okay. So you're not going to offend anyone if you say 놨어요 or 놨어요. But you can say it almost exactly like you would just say 놨어요. And that's just because this gets said really quickly. They would not say 불을 꺼놓았어요 or 놓았어요. They would just say 불을 꺼놨어요. Almost exactly like 놨어요. So just wanted to say that. It'll take practice so that you can say it like 놨어요 instead of like 놨어요, but it's not a big deal. So you can say it however you want to say it quickly, almost like 놨어요, and you'll be fine. Okay. I think we're ready for our first other full sentence. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so I've only given you one sentence to show. Here, let me find something. Okay. Let's do one more sentence, and then I'm going to give you another version of this. 손님들. So 손님 means a guest, like someone coming over, someone who's invited to something, or someone visiting your restaurant or whatever. 손님들, guests. 이 오기 전에, before the guests come. 오다, to come. 기 전에, before doing something, before coming, before the guests arrive. 식탁. 식탁 means dinner table or food table. This literally is 식 from like 식사, like food, 식 eating, 탁 table or surface. So this isn't just table. So you might see this listed in some grammar books as, or vocabulary books as just 식탁 means table. Specifically, it's the table that you would eat on. So 식탁. And then we're going to have, oops. 닦아 놓을게요. If you're not familiar with the 게요 form, just imagine this is 놓을 거예요. I will. But okay, 손님들이 오기 전에 식탁을 닦아 놓을게요. So here we have 식탁을 닦다, to wipe. 닦다 means to wipe something. But that's how they say clean when when cleaning involves wiping something. So like any sort of surface that you're cleaning, like tables or something like that, desks, countertops. They say 닦다, to wipe. They don't say 청소하다 or something else, or 씻다, or like rinse. They don't use that. They use 닦다 for wiping. So wipe the table, or in English we just say clean the table. Before the guests arrive, I will clean the table. So here we have 닦아 놓다, to clean something in advance. So what is it in advance for? What is it in advance for? Well, it's in advance for, it's for the purpose of, in preparation of the guests coming. So here you are wiping it off. You're wiping the desk. You're wiping the table in preparation because the guests are coming. So I'm going to wipe the table in preparation. You can just think of it like that. Or I'm going to wipe the table for later before the guests come. So, okay. So I just want to give you one more example sentence of how this 놓다 is used to mean for later or in preparation of. But now I want to do a completely different sentence. Actually, let's give you a whole new let's open up the world a little bit. Let's go back and talk a little bit about 놓다. Let's talk a little bit more about 놓다. So I didn't give you the full picture yet. 놓다 means to put something down, right? I told you that. 놓다 means to put something down and let go of it, right? That is where we get this extra meaning of 놓다, which sometimes you'll find books explain, but not the way that I just explained it. Okay, this means that you are doing something. So when you combine this with a verb, what the meaning you get is you're doing the verb completely. And then leave it. Leave with two E's. Leave it like that. I'll just write in that state for technical, to be more technical. So you're completely doing something and you're leaving it like that. That's how you get the meaning. This is literally where the 놓다 grammar form comes. When you're saying 해 놓다, do, 하다, 해 놓다. What you're really saying is do something, 하다, and then leaving it like that. So you do it, you put that action down. Okay, now I'm done with doing that. And now there it is. Goodbye. See you later. I'm leaving you like this. So if you, I'll just do our example again. For our previous example, we had 꺼놨어요. You can think of it like turning off the light for later. Right? I'm turning off the light now because I'm thinking about later. I'm not going to need it. Okay, you can think about it that way. And a lot of times that will be a good way to translate it in your head. Or literally you can think of it like this. I'm going to turn off the light. Now it's off. Okay, goodbye. I'm leaving the light off. I'm going to leave it like that. So this will translate differently depending on the sentence, but sometimes a good translation for that could be, I'm going to leave the light off. Okay. You might not be able to add that sort of leave meaning into every translation that you make, but here you could say to turn off the light and leave it off. Or we might just say, I'm going to leave the light off. I'll leave the light off. So I'll turn it off and leave it off is what it means. So if someone tells you, 불 꺼놔, what they're saying is turn off the light and leave it like that. Turn off, or, we might just say in English, leave the light off, or 켜다 would be to turn on. You could say 켜놔, turn the light on and leave it on. So leave the light on. So maybe you're walking in a room and your friend comes in and shuts off all the lights, right? You could yell at your friend, 아이, 다시 켜, turn them back on, 켜. Or you can yell out, 켜놔, turn them on and leave them on. Right? Both of those are perfectly okay. If you want to add in the meaning of leaving it like that, then use 놓다. Okay, now I've given you the full explanation of how to use 놓다 and how to not, when you want to use 놓다 and when you don't want to use 놓다. So I'm going to take a minute break and look at the chat just to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. Does a direct translation of 해놓다 make sense in English? You can say to do something and leave it like that. I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you want to think of it literally every time, 꺼놓다, turn off the light and leave it. Yeah, there you go. For my other example about before the guests come, wipe the table. Wipe the table and leave it. Might not make the best sense in English when you try to translate it. So sometimes you might want to translate it as do something and leave it in your head. And sometimes you might want to translate it as doing something in preparation. The example with 손님들이 오기 전에 식탁을 닦아 놓을게요. You could say, I'll wipe the table and leave it like that, because literally that's what it means. It means wipe the table. Okay, now I'm done and I'm going to leave it clean. I'm going to clean off the table. I'm going to leave it like that. Or you can think of it like, I'm going to wipe the table in preparation because I know they're going to be coming. So I'll wipe the table in advance. Might be a better translation. So use both of those translations, but know that the literal meaning of 놓다 is to put something down, to do something and put it down and then leave it and walk away. So that's the literal meaning of 놓다. So that should help kind of guide you when you're making your sentences. You have to kind of know both of those. So do it and leave it so later when someone else comes to it, it is in the same state. Correct. Yes. Doing it and leaving it that way. So if you were to say something like, oh, here, let me do this. No. Okay. Okay, first let me check how we are on time. 24. Okay. All right. Here, let's do this. 밖 means outside. So 밖이, outside. Now we have subject marker. 시원, I should have written this lower, but anyway. 하니까, because it is 시원하다, cool, refreshing. Because it's cool outside. 밖, outside is cool. So, 창문 is window. 창문을 열어놨어요. Okay, 밖이 시원하니까, because it's cool outside, 창문을 열어, open, 놨어요. Because it's cool outside, I opened the window and left it open. Because it's cool outside, I left the window open. That's kind of the meaning that you get. It could be in preparation for, but in a different context. Maybe your friend's gonna sneak in your window and you're gonna hang out in the living room and play video games. So you 창문을 열어놨어요. You left it open in preparation for, for later, for when your friend's gonna run over. But more often it might just translate as to leave it open, to open it and then leave it that way because it's so cool outside. 밖이 시원하니까 창문을 열어놨어요. Because it's cool outside, I opened up the window and just left it open. You could just say also, 창문을 열었어요. Because it's cool outside, I opened the window. That's fine too. It just doesn't add the extra meaning of that you're intending for it to stay open. So that's why this 놓다 is useful for adding emphasis to something staying a certain way. So you could always just 창문을 열었어요. I opened the window. Done. But if you want to say, well, I opened it up, I left it open, right? You want to emphasize that it's going to stay that way for a while. 열어놨어요. Okay, here's another one. You might also see this form used with this adverb, 미리. 미리 is very, very commonly used. This means ahead of time, or in advance, or beforehand. 미리. Really good adverb to know. Well, it also commonly goes together with the 놓다 form, because 놓다 form can have that meaning anyway. So you could just say something like 미리 해놨어요. Now you have the meaning of just 해놨어요. I did it and left it that way, but with emphasis even more on that it's ahead of time. So 미리 해놨어요. I did the homework, 숙제, whatever, 청소, 공부, any sort of noun you want to do, 운동, I'm doing the 공부 in advance. 공부를 미리 해놨어요. I don't know if you'd really do the homework in advance. Okay, whatever. 숙제. 숙제 is a better example. 숙제, homework. 숙제를 미리 해놨어요. I did the homework. 해놨어요. I did it and now it's done. I left it finished. But like I said, if you only think of nota as meaning to do something and leave it that way, it won't make sense in your mind all of the time. It'll kind of sound weird. You're like, well, why do I need to say 해놨어요 for my homework? I can just say 했어요 or another form. There are other forms you could use too. But if you think about it, that it can also mean for later or in advance, then it makes more sense. So 해놨어요. I did my homework in advance. Well, now we have more emphasis. 미리. Like I did it beforehand. I did it in advance ahead of time. Kind of that extra emphasis. So 미리 tends to get used together with this nota form very often. Okay. 28. Okay. 한국어를 배우기. So we're going to have 한국어를 배우기 위해, in order to learn, 기 위해, in order to do something, in order to, 배우다, learn Korean, 한국어 책, a Korean language book, 책을 사다, to buy, so 사놨어요. So I bought a Korean book for later in order to learn Korean. 한국어를 배우기 위해, in order to learn Korean, 한국어 책을 사놨어요. I bought a Korean book for later. So I bought a Korean book in preparation, in advance, in order to learn Korean. So I'm going to be learning Korean next week. I'm starting Korean class. So in order to do that, 한국어 책을 사놨어요. I bought a Korean book in preparation for that. So literally you're saying, I bought the Korean book, I've got it, and it's going to stay here. I've got it, it's ready. Kind of like that. But think of it as meaning in preparation or for later, and it'll help you with translating in your head. Okay. All right. I think I want to have you guys do one. Let's see, how am I on the... Okay, cool. I want to make some sandwiches for the party tomorrow. How would you say this? I want you guys to give this a try. This is a little bit longer this is longer than the sentences I normally give you, but there are no difficult words in here. Party tomorrow. Go ahead and give it a try. I want to make sandwiches for the party tomorrow. I'll give you a few words though. Tomorrow, 내일. Party is just party. Don't do potty. Don't do putty. Putty means a fly. Or Paris, France, they also call it putty. For the part for, you're probably going to use 위해. Just write it small here. 위해. Something 위해. Sandwich is 샌드위치. 샌드위치. And want to make will be something with 만들다, to make. Oh, perfect time for a donation, because this is when I would just sit and wait anyway. Muku, still thinking about meeting in Seoul in April. I am thinking about it. Yes. If there are enough people who want it. Because last time we had, I think 25 people came to the meetup that I had last year. And then the other thing is, would I want to do the fan meetup at the same location? Because I don't know where else I can do a fan meetup. I will say, if there are enough people who want it, then yes. Because last time was great. I really liked meeting people. We signed some books. This time it would be nice if I can bring some like signed copies of my books or something like that for like prizes. But I just don't know about the location. Do I want to do in the same location again or a different location? Okay, let's see what you guys have got. Tiffany stayed my day with her first attempt. 내일 파티 위해 샌드위치 만들어 놨어요. You're really close. But I say I want to make some sandwiches, but what you have is not grammatically wrong. I made sandwiches. 파티를 위해 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Binky, you have everything perfect except you didn't write sandwiches. You just write I wanted to make it. So in context, it could be okay though, if we know we're talking about sandwiches here. 파티에 no deeps. It would be 파티에 위해, not 파티에 위해, 파티를 위해 with the object marker. 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Nice, Larissa Cruz. Larissa Cruz got the first correct one. 내일 파티 위해 샌드위치들. Chris O, you do not need to use the plural 들 unless you need to emphasize that something is plural or you're talking about things in general. Like, sandwiches. I love sandwiches in general. Like that. Then you can use 들. Otherwise, you don't need to use 들 for even when you're talking about sandwiches. You would just say sandwichi as a singular. And then they would know through context whether you mean one sandwich or if you mean many sandwiches. 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. 내일의 파티 Marcel, you have a typo. You wrote 워해. Should just be 위해, but I think that's just a small typo. 내일 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Sam Cashy, perfect, nice. 내일의 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Nice, Robin Starr. Come during the summer because the weather's terrible. It's too hot and humid. I don't want to go during the end of June and July and August. It's too hot. 내일 파티 위해 삼위일체? No, that's not sandwich. Okay. Three. It's a different word. 내일은 파티 위에 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Small, nice. 내일 파티. Ocean Discovery also. 파티를 위해, not 파티에 위해. And then you also have a typo for 만들. You just wrote 마들. I think you're just missing the nian at the bottom. But yeah, the rest is fine. Okay. 친구의 결혼식 가기 위해 드레스를 사놨는데. Oh yeah. Tiffany Stemade. For my friend's wedding ceremony, in order to go to my friend's wedding ceremony, I bought a dress. Perfect. Yeah, because you know you're going to need the dress for later, so you're buying it now in advance. You're buying it now and you're going to leave it for later. Okay. 내일 Kate June, you don't need the object marker after tomorrow since you're not doing anything to tomorrow. It's just something tomorrow. So you can just do 내일 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 미리 만들어 놨어요. Remember, it's not 고 놓다. It's the conjugated verb. So 만들어 놓다. SK for the end of June. 내일 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 Ocean Discovery. You have a typo for the 만들다 part, but the rest of your sentence is good. Yeah, if anyone's wondering when's the best time to visit Korea, the earliest I would recommend going would be March, and the latest I would recommend would be the middle of June. And then skip the end of June until the end of August at least. And then if you want to go when it's still kind of warm but bearable, I would say September. Middle of September is a little more bearable. But then only until maybe the beginning of December, because then it starts getting really cold. So unless you're okay with that, if you don't mind really hot or really cold weather, I should take it back. It's not really hot. It's humid, which makes it feel like it's really hot. But the temperature-wise, it's not that bad. It's 80s, upper 80s, maybe low 90s at most. But yeah, it just feels really hot in the summer. So my favorite time to go is sometime between March and June. Yeah. But if you didn't want to go then, September to November is also really nice. Especially October. October is really nice. Yeah, best weather is as well for October. Humidity is good for my dry eyes. Yeah, if you have dry eyes, you might like the humidity. So if you don't mind the humidity, you can go whenever you want. Okay, let's write down one way to write this. And we haven't even talked about the next part yet. Okay. So we have 내일 파티를 위해 for the party tomorrow 샌드위치를 sandwich 만들다. So we have 놨어요. Actually, it's 만들어 놓고 싶어요. 하하하. Okay. 내일 파티를 위해 for the party tomorrow 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. I want to make some sandwiches in advance in preparation for the party tomorrow. 내일 파티를 위해 샌드위치를 만들어 놓고 싶어요. I want to make some sandwiches in preparation. Sorry. I want to make some sandwiches in advance or in preparation for the party tomorrow. Okay. Let's do our next sentence. Do you guys want me to give you more sentences to try? Or do you want me to just do more sentences? I'll ask you that because I have a few extra sentences that we can do. I'll write down one while you're thinking of that. 지금, right now. 설거지 means the dishes, as in doing the dishes. Like 설거지 specifically means like the dirty dishes that you're talking. This is not how you refer to clean dishes. So yeah, this is only for dirty dishes. 설거지, and you can say 설거지를 하다, to do the dishes. 해놔. 지금 설거지를 해놔. Do the dishes now for later. So take care of the dishes right now. Clean them off and then leave them clean. So 지금 설거지를 해놔. Do the dishes now for later. Like take care of them. So don't let the dishes just sit around. Just clean them right now and you're done. Do the dishes right now for later. 지금 설거지를 해놔. That was fast. 계획을 짜놨는데 짜다. 계획 means a plan, like some sort of plan. 짜다. 계획을 짜다. It's not salty, 짜다, but 짜다 as a verb means to set plans, to make plans. They say 계획을 짜다. You wouldn't say 만들다 or any other thing. There are other verbs you can use with 계획, but this is just a common. 계획을 짜다, to make plans. 계획을 짜놨는데 I had set up plans. I had made plans in preparation for something. But, well, what happened? 취소. 취소 means cancellation. So 취소가, this is more of an intermediate level sentence. I'll say that. So if this is too high, if this is a bit above your level, don't worry. This is more of an intermediate level sentence. 계획을 짜놨는데 I had set up plans for later, but 취소가 됐어요. They got canceled. 취소가 되다 means to be canceled, to get canceled. 계획을 짜놨는데 취소가 됐어요. I had set up some plans in advance in preparation for something, and they had been set, and I let them stay there, and I was just waiting on them, but they got canceled. That's the meaning that you get. 계획을 짜놨는데 취소가 됐어요. I made plans, but they got canceled. How sad. Okay, let me just check the chat for a second. $6:14. Oh, Kate June. Is that your birthday? Okay. You guys try to make this sentence. Turn on some music. Turn on some music. Turn on some music and leave it on. So not just turn on the music, but let's turn on some music, right? We've got a party starting. You know, friends are coming over. Turn on some music. How would you say this? Now, you're going to need one verb to turn on. For any sort of electronic appliance, like air conditioning, music, radio. They don't use this for computer, though. But this would be for some specific electronic devices. So I'll say air conditioner, radio, any sort of music device, they use 틀다, 틀다. So how would you say turn on some music? I'll also, let's see. You also don't really have to say some. I just added this in English, but you don't need to translate some into Korean every time. How would you say this? Binky, you're too fast. 음악을 틀어놔. Nice. 켜십시오. Yeah, Google Translate. Don't listen to Google Translate. 틀어놔요. Okay? 음악 틀어놔요. 음악 틀어놔. 음악을 Ocean Discovery. Typo, Ocean Discovery. You wrote 틀어놔요, but you just need the 틀어. 틀어놔봐. You could say 틀어놔봐요, like turn on, hey, let's turn on some music and see how it goes. Kind of like that. That's okay too. 켜십시오. That's funny. 틀어놔줘. Please turn on some music. Okay, 무쿠. Yeah, you turn to turn on. So anything that you turn to turn on. But like it doesn't necessarily mean everything you turn to turn on. They have some things that they typically don't use it with. But in general, music, and then large devices, like I'll say air conditioning, stuff like that, heater, humidifier, whatever, all that stuff that you turn to turn on. Like if it has a dial, you're going to say 틀다. But then even some things that might have a dial, you might not say 틀다 if it's not commonly used with it. But at least those are okay with. So yeah, things that are dialed. 켜다 is simply to activate, like to switch on. So if something has like a little switch, like a lightsaber, a computer, you don't really use it for a car. Electric car, you could use it. Something that's more of a switch or a button is 켜다. Alexa, turn on some music would be 틀다. If you wanted to tell Alexa to turn on music, you could say 틀어줘. You don't have to say 틀어놔. I'm sure it'll understand you if you say 틀어놔, like turn on some music and leave it on. 음악 틀어놔요. Nice, Ocean Discovery. Okay. Well, I mean like lightsaber, like if you go to, what is it? You can get like those replica lightsabers, and those would also be, 켜다, when you turn those on. You know. Okay. Yes. So turn on music. You might have a different variation of this. 음악을 틀어놔. Turn on some music and leave it on. So turn on some music for later. Turn on some music, leave on the music. 틀어놔. 음악을 틀어놔. Turn on some music. Okay. Now let's talk about 두다. So remember I said 두다 is a little bit different than 놓다. 놓다 means to put something down and leave it there. Right? 두다 means to put something down, but it also means to keep. Like to keep something. So you've still put something down when you use 두다. You're still doing it for later, in preparation for something. But 두다 has more of a strong meaning of doing something long term. Doing something, leaving it that way, long term. Like you're keeping it. You're keeping it. It's down and I'm keeping it down. Kind of like that. So I'm putting it down. It's finished. 해 놓다. Just to put something down and leaving it that way. So 열어놨어요. I opened the window. Well, now it's open. I left it open. 열어두다. If you were to use it with 두다, it's more like I'm opening it and I'm keeping it open. I'm not just leaving it open, but I'm keeping it open. So I'm doing it for later in preparation for something. But now it's to stay long term. So if you want to emphasize that something is long term, then you'll use 두다 instead of 놓다. With that said, this is a little bit less common than 놓다. It's still used, but it's a little bit less common than 놓다. So just keep that in mind, that if you're thinking, oh, I think this will be a kind of long term, then 두다, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. But if you want to emphasize that it is long term, use 두다. So, let's do some examples. the first example we're going to do is one where you really should use 두다. 기억하다, to remember. 기억해 둘게. 기억해 둘게. If you were to say 기억해 놓을게, it makes sense. I'm going to remember it for later. I'm going to remember it and I'll leave it that way in my memory. Well, here, 두다 is actually better than 놓다. Here it's, I will remember it and I will keep it in my mind forever. It's like, I'll always remember that. 기억해 둘게. Okay, I will remember that. This is much better sounding than 놓다. So because of that, when you're using it with some verbs, they might prefer using 두다 with them. In this case, 두다 sounds more sincere. So use 기억해 두다 and not 기억해 놓다 because that sounds a little unnatural. So, and we are okay on time. Are we? Yes. Okay. But it's not always one or the other. You can use both of them most of the time. Just in some situations, you want to use one or the other. 그 사람, that person, 그 사람을 알다, to know that person. So you're going to say 알아두다, 알아두면. Literally, if you know that person, 좋아요. It is good, or as you might say more naturally, you should know that person. 그 사람을 알아두면 좋아요. It would be good if you knew that person. You should know, get to know. You should know that person and then continue to know them long term. 그 사람을 알아두면 좋아요. Like, hey, you should really get to know that guy. You know, long term, he can be really helpful. He's a famous director. 그 사람을 알아두면 좋아요. It would be great if you got to know him and knew about him long term. 사람을 알아놓으면 좋아요. Grammatically is fine. But it's like saying you should just know him for later, the end. It doesn't have the emphasis that it's long term. So a lot of times, like when you want to emphasize that something's long term, so knowing a person, when you want to say you'll remember something, stuff like that, it becomes more common that people will use 두다 instead of 놓다. So I just wanted to give you a few examples where that sounds better. But literally, if you were to say this, they wouldn't think it's strange. They would just think, oh, well, 두다 might sound a little better because it's long term. But okay, I mean, you're not saying you're not going to learn. If you use 놓다, you're not saying you're not going to know someone long term. You're just saying you're not emphasizing it's long term. So that's why 두다 is usually better in cases where you're talking about memorizing something or knowing someone like that. Okay, but here's one where you could use either. And in fact, like I said, most of the time you can switch and use either one. 한국어를 배우다. So 배워두다. So 배워두고 싶어요. So I'm getting ready to go on a trip I'm getting ready to go on a trip to Korea. I'm preparing to travel to Korea next year. So in order to prepare for that trip, 한국어를 배워두고 싶어요. I want to get Korean down. I want to learn Korean for later and long into the future. I'm going to be living in Korea from next year. I'm taking my first trip to Korea. I'm going to go live there. 한국어를 배워두고 싶어요. This is what I did when I first went to Korea. I was like, well, I'm going to go to Korea. I'm going to learn it before I go. Bought some books. 배워두고 싶어요. I want to learn it long term. I want to learn it and then keep that state. I'm going to make that state of me knowing it, of me learning it, continue for a long time, long term. So that's why you can say 두다 sometimes, and it'll sound better than 놓다. But you could also just say this, and it doesn't sound weird. 배워놓고 싶어요. I'm going to go on a trip to Korea, and I want to learn Korean before I go. 배워놓고 싶어요. It just doesn't have emphasis of that being long term. So this might even be better if you say you're going to go on a one-day trip to Korea. Well, in that case, it might even sound better to say 배워놓고 싶어요 because you're not going to do it long term. But it depends on the situation. It depends on the context. I'll just say that a lot of times you're not going to sound wrong if you use one or the other. they're both used. They both have the same meaning of doing something in preparation or doing something and leaving it that way. So 배워놓고 싶어요 is also good. 배워두고 싶어요 is a little bit better, especially if you're preparing to do it long term. 한국어를 배워두고 싶어요. I want to learn Korean in advance. And it's long term. Okay, let's see. I want to give this one to you. Okay. How would I say... Okay, how would you say this? I hung the picture on the wall. I'll give you some words if you don't know. Give it a try though. I hung the picture on the wall. Okay, wall. Actually, let me write this with the black pen. Wall is 벽. Picture is 사진. Hung or hang is 걸다. 걸다 means to hang something. So I hung the picture on the wall. Now, you're putting up a picture in your room. Are you putting it up for a party? Or are you putting it up to stay there? Here, I think, let's say we're going to put it up to stay there. So it's going to stay there for a long time. So we're going to use 두다. So I'll just let you know that. If you were to say 걸어놓다, well, now you're putting it up on the wall for something. So you're doing it in preparation for the future. You're going to put it up on the wall and leave it there. And it's fine. You can say 걸어놓다. But here, I want to emphasize that we're leaving it up on the wall. Like, it's staying on the wall. I'm going to keep it here. I want to put this picture up on the wall. It's my prized possession. I spent an hour making it. I'm going to put it up on the wall right here. It's going to stay there. So how would you say this? 벽에 사진을 걸어두었어요. Nice, Binky. I hung the portrait of Ahimang on the wall because she is so cool. Yeah, I have like a mural of Ahimang on my wall right here. I gotta show you guys later. 사진을 not 벽에서, Scott, because here you're hanging it on the wall. You're not hanging it 에서, at the wall. The wall isn't the location of an action. The wall is the destination of that action. So you just want to use 에, not 에서. 사진을 벽에 걸어뒀어요. Nice, Larissa. 사진을 벽에 걸어두었어요. Tiffany, stay my day. Nice. I noticed some people have 두었어요. 두었어요. And other people have 두어. That's fine. This, though, is much more common. Because of sound change rules, typically 두어 will combine this U and O vowel will combine to become 우어. So you get 두어. So then when past tense, you get 두었어요, like that. 뒀어요, almost pronounced like that. Okay. 벽에 사진을 걸어뒀어요. Okay. 사진을 벽에 걸어뒀어요. Nice. Okay. Let's write down one. 사진을 벽에, okay. 사진을, so the picture, 벽에, on the wall, 걸다, 걸어, 두었어요. Okay. 사진을 벽에 걸어뒀어요. I hung the picture, 사진을 벽에, on the wall. 사진을 벽에 걸어뒀어요. And I left it there, just like 놓다, but here it emphasizes that it's going to be a long time. So I'm not just putting it up for later and leaving. I'm not just doing that, but I'm leaving it here permanently for a long time. And that's what I'm intending to do. And I'm emphasizing that by using 두다 instead of 놓다. 사진을 벽에 걸어뒀어요. I hung the picture on the wall long term. Billy is my number one fan. He just fronts like he isn't. Except you gotta update that Go Billy fan page. The other day, my friend was over, and they were Googling my Instagram, and they're like, what is this Go Billy fans page? It hasn't been updated in like 5,000 years. And I was like, yeah, I know. Ahimang also runs the, the Go Billy fan page. If you have any cool stuff, send it to there. I think she might put it up. It has like goofy stuff. Okay. Nice. So let's see where we are. Okay. I planted the carrots. 당근 means carrot. 심다 means to plant. To plant something. 심다. Okay. 심어. I know I wrote that wrong. Wrote that kind of high here. 소요. Okay. 당근을 심어놨어요. I planted the carrots. Now, it's not just planting the carrots for later or planting the carrots. Oh, sorry. Why did I write that with one shield anyway? I think that's how sometimes people write on the internet. Okay. 심어뒀어요. So here now we're gonna say 당근을 심어뒀어요. I planted the carrots long term. So I put the carrots in the ground, planted them, I left them there, and I'm intending to leave them there long term. I'm keeping them planted like that. I'm keeping the carrots planted. Instead of just saying, I'm leaving the carrots planted, now you're saying, I'm keeping them. So this has that more emphasis of long term. Planting. 심어뒀어요. 당근을 심어뒀어요. I planted the carrots. Long term. Okay. Let's do another sentence. Maybe I want you guys to do this. Okay. I already told my mom. I already let my mom know. This is the natural translation in English. I already let my mom know. I already told my mom. So you can think of this as I already told my mom. Yeah, I already told my mom. Try this on your own. For tell, we're going to use 얘기하다. 얘기하다 means to have a conversation with someone, but that's how you say to tell someone. You wouldn't say 말하다 unless you're like saying one word or something. Usually when you have to talk with someone about something, you'll use 얘기하다. So I told my mom, we'll use 얘기하다. Already, the adverb already is 이미. 이미 means already. There's another one, 벌써. 벌써 would be emphatic if you want to emphasize. 이미 얘기하다, already tell, and then mom, just 엄마. 엄마. And then I already told my mom, I let her know in advance. So we're going to say I already told my mom, she already knows now. And I did it in advance. So how would you say this? Wait, what? Kate June. My sister dressed as Billy for character day at her school? I'm going to need a photo of that. I would have to see a photo of that. That would be pretty amazing. Oh, Michael XD asks, what was meaty? Meaty is in advance. That means in preparation of. That's when you want to emphasize that something is done beforehand or ahead of time. Okay. 엄마한테 이미 얘기해뒀어요. Okay? 엄마께 이미 얘기해놨어요. Okay? You had 얘기 spelled differently for Scott. Okay. 이미 얘기해뒀어요. Okay? You could use 해두다, but if you're using 해두다, then that would mean that you're doing something for well in advance, for some sort of long-term preparation. You could do 얘기해두다. I guess if you wanted to emphasize that what you're telling her is going to last a very long time. Maybe you're telling her something very important, and it's for something that's going to take effect for a long time. So you need to let her know in advance. So I'm going to tell her right now, and it's going to last a long time. Like I'll let her know right now that I'm going to be moving to another state. 얘기해뒀어요. I let her know. Now she knows. We're going to be gone forever, very long term, something like that. Otherwise, just use 놓다, unless you need to emphasize that sort of long term. Oh, Lynette. Lynette. Hey, thank you, Lynette. Let's erase mom here. 엄마. Lynette, thank you. Let's do a dab for Lynette. Thanks, Lynette. 한테 얘기해. Me. You have 얘기하다. You have a typo there. You spelled it incorrectly. Should be 얘기 like this, not with the letters out. Already, like 뭐. Yeah, it's similar to 뭐. Muku, well, you didn't tell us what we told her. Okay, fair enough. Oh, and something I want to point out. Some people are writing 엄마께. This is actually incorrect. The reason is, 게 is an honorific particle that means 에게. 엄마, however, is a slang or informal word for just like saying mom or mommy, like that. Mom or mommy. So what you're saying is, to my mommy. So it doesn't really match. If you're going to use 게, you want to use 어머니. 어머니. 어머니 means mother. You know, one's mother. To my mother. Now it matches. 어머니께. You wouldn't use 엄마께 because it's like I said, 엄마 is like mommy or mom, and 게 would be too formal to match with the word mommy, which is kind of like I said, casual or informal at the very least. Yeah, let's give the answer here, or at least one answer. Monte. Okay. Since it's 엄마, we're just going to use 한테. Because 엄마 is like light, it's like informal, so 한테 is also informal, so it matches. 엄마한테. Let's do 이미. Oops. 얘기해 놨어요. 엄마한테, to mom. 이미 already 얘기해 놨어요. I already told mom. I already told it to mom in preparation. I already told her in advance. 엄마한테 이미 얘기해 놨어요. I already let her know. So I told her and then I let that state stay the way it is. Now she knows and I'm leaving it alone. I told her, I let her know. So you're making plans with your family, and you and your mom and your brother are going to meet for lunch, and you decide you're going to go to a chicken restaurant. But at the last minute, no, the day before, you talk with your brother and you decide, oh, let's go eat pizza. Then your brother says, okay, tell mom we're going to go get pizza. So you say, okay, 엄마한테 이미 얘기해놨어요. I already told mom. I already let her know. Now she knows. Because I did it in advance. Now she knows it. I did that. I let it stay that way. Now she is aware of it. 이미 얘기해놨어요. I already told her. 엄마한테 이미 얘기해놨어요. I let mom know already. Okay. And finally, I want you guys to do this. Don't close the... Whoa, okay. Don't close the door. Don't close the door. By this, we're going to be using the 노타. You don't want to use 타다, 두다. You don't want to use 두다 because you're not closing the door forever. Like maybe if you're closing the pharaoh's tomb, you would use 타다, 두다 because you're closing it long term. Otherwise, just closing the door like normal, you could use 노타. So how would you say this? Don't close the door. I was actually writing close again. But don't close the close. And then I changed it, and that's why it looks kind of like weird like that. Okay, let's see what you guys got. Okay. Oh, I see Ahiman commented before about the fan page. I was literally just saying I needed to do that. That's funny. Yeah, I was just thinking about it just last night, actually. Because my brother and my friend were we were all hanging out together at nighttime. And they're just Googling, my YouTube channel. And they're, they like to tease me about it. 어머니께 얘기해뒀어요. Okay, nice. To my mommy. That's right. Kate Jude. 문을 닫아놓지 마. Yes, nice. Good job, Binky. Binky, you're doing pretty good here. I don't know if I've seen Binky here before. It might be Binky's first, or maybe you've been here before. I just didn't see you. 문을 닫아놓지 마. 문을 닫아놓지 마세요. 문을 열어놔. Yeah, me. Perfect. 문을 열어놔. Leave the door open. Don't close it. Just leave it open. 닫지 마. No. 무쿠. The 놓다 comes directly onto the verb. So it's the verb stem. I'll just write VS. Verb stem plus 놓다. That's how it works. It does not ever, there's nothing else that will go between here. It's verb stem plus, it is one piece. So if you were to say do not, you would do that at the very end of the whole thing that you have, the whole form. So like the form is verb stem 놓다. So if you want to say don't, that form, it would go after 놓다. That's what before we had like 만들어 놓고 싶어요. Like that, we didn't have 만들고 싶 놓다 or something like that. It goes at the very end of it. Okay, so don't close the door. Don't close the door. Actually, you guys, most of you have it pretty perfectly. Let's just do 문을, so the door, 닫다 to close. So 닫아 놓다. So 닫아 놓지 마. Now I should point out that due to the sound change rules, this is actually pronounced like chi. So it's not no-ji, it's no-chi. Oh, donation. Oh no, Beatrice Napoli. Beatrice Napoli, welcome. Welcome, new member, thank you. Let me give you a dab. Welcome, Beatrice. It's actually my my grandma's name. My Mexican grandma's name, Beatrice. But welcome. 문을 닫아 놓지 마세요. Nice. So yes, 문을 닫아 놓지 마. Or 마세요, if you want to be more polite. Don't close the door and then leave it closed. Like don't leave the door closed. You know, you can even say after this, 문을 열어놔. Leave it open. You know, open it and leave it. Don't close it and leave it. Don't leave it closed. 문을 닫아 놓지 마. Don't leave the door closed. Don't close the door and leave it. Kind of like that. Okay, we are not done. But we are mostly done. It's time for some advanced notes. So that's all the sentences that we have for today. But I do have a couple more things that I want to explain. Let's see here. So remember I said that 놓다 means to put something down, right? And leave it. Just to put something down and it's down. Now it's on some surface. Well, what if you wanted to say to put something down for later? To put something down in advance, to put something down in preparation. Like, you know, I'm going to put down this book here because I'm going to go, someone else will use it later. You know, I'll put this back. I'll open the door for later. Not open the door. We're talking about put it down. Okay. I'm going to put this pen down here on the board for later because I know I'm going to need it later. So I'm going to put it right here. Down. Well, you can't see it, but it's down now on the board, the little holder. So how would you say 놓다 with 놓다? Well, you might think it's 놓아놓다, right? 놓아놓다. You're correct. Grammatically, 놓아놓다 is fine. And people might say 놓아놨어. I'm just writing it quickly, sorry. 놓아놨어요, or whatever like that. 놓아놨어요. I put it down in preparation for later. I left it down. I left it there on the ground. You might even add like 바닥에 on the ground. 놓아놨어요. Like I laid it there on the ground for later in preparation for something. You know, like, hey, where are my shoes? 저기 바닥에 넣어놨어요. I put them down there on the floor for you. Like knowing that you would ask for them or knowing you need them later, I put them down there for you in preparation for that. 놓아놨어요. That's okay. But some people might try doing this. So no-eul-da is fine. But I will say no-eul-da is a little bit long, right? Because, you know, we learned that you can change no to become no, right? No. Well, then some people might say, well, what about no-ta? No-ta. Looking at it, it's not too bad. No-ta sounds okay. But then the problem comes when you start to conjugate this. Like, it's not quite that common that they'll do this. Instead of doing na like that, if you're saying na, you know, you're not going to tell someone na. Actually, even when you're pronouncing it quickly, that would just become na, almost na. You know, so what they actually do is, in this case, they use duda. Just because it's easier to say two different verbs instead of doing noa like that, or na. So na duda. However, you might see noa as part of a different grammatical form, like 저기 놓아놓고, like put it over there, leave it over there, and then, but when it's used as conjugated form, you will not see that. You'll just see it used as 놓아두다, 놔두다, 놔둬. Put it down over there. 저기 놔둬. 저기 놔둬 줄래? 놔둬? Do you want to put it down over there? Like put it over there? 내 신발, put my shoes. 내 신발 저기 놔둬. Or just 놓아줘, just put them down. But if you want to say put them down there for later, 놓아두다. So that's just how this kind of changes to get used. So you might see 놓아두다. It's fine. It also just means put it down for later. And the reason they'll use this is just because it sounds a little better than saying 놓아. I can't even say it. 놓아나 or whatever. But you also might hear 놓아나. Just a personal preference. The other thing we have to talk about is all we've done today is action verb with nota, right? So we have 하다 becomes 해놓다. This is for advanced. Promise me you will not use this unless you are high intermediate or at least like advanced level. Promise me. Well, I mean, you don't have to listen to what I'm telling you to do, but so here's with descriptive verb stem conjugated, just like before. I'll slowly rewrite that so it looks a little nicer. So really, this is an advanced form. And the reason is, it's not common. Two, you have to really know what you're doing to do this. This can also be used with descriptive verbs. So now, what? Is there anyone watching right now that's advanced level? I promise. Let's see. Okay. What do you think this could possibly mean? Descriptive verb stem nota. Well, it's kind of not, it's not that different than what it did with it's not that different than what it did with action verbs. Action verb stems with nota shows that you're doing something and then leaving it like that. And action verb stem with 두다 also, that you're leaving it, but then for a long time. If you do descriptive verb stem nota, it adds emphasis that that descriptive verb, that state, continues for a long time. Hopefully you can read this. It emphasizes that some sort of state, the descriptive verb, continues for a long time. It doesn't even need to be a long time, just that it continues. The state continues. So yeah, for a long time, but at least that it just keeps going on. Another thing I need to say is this is not common. At all. It's not common, but it's not awkward. It just is not that common. For one, it's not that common that you need to emphasize that some sort of descriptive verb state continues in a long time. And Koreans, when they want to emphasize that a certain state continues, you might think, oh, that's really useful. I sometimes want to say, like, for example, 춥다, it's cold. 추워놓다. I want to say like it stays cold. You don't need to say that. You would just say 매일, like every day it's cool, it's cold. 매일 추워. Or 항상, always, or 계속, continually. 계속 추워. 맨날 계속 추워. It's every day, it keeps being cold. You know, you could say it a bunch of different ways. I'm not giving you a bunch of example sentences for that. So you might think that's a useful concept, but in Korean, they tend to not need this very much. That's what makes it uncommon. They would instead just say, they'll give more description as to how that state continues. So like what I'd said, you know, 계속, continually, 자주, often, 항상, always, or just, you know, 너무, too much, like so much, 매일, every day, or, you know, they'll give some sort of details as to exactly how often something happens. 오래, for a long time. You know, they'll just use straight up adjectives in Korean. They don't need this form. But that's what this form can also do. This form has the feeling of a state continues for a long time. So let me give you an example of that. Again, this is not common, and please do not use this unless you are able to make full Korean conversations without any difficulty. Because if you throw this into your sentence, it'll sound wrong. I'll say that. If you just throw this into your sentence, they're going to think you misused 놓다 because the rest of your sentence might not match that sort of the advanced sound that this form will give to your sentence. It has to kind of match. So if you're at the beginner level and you throw in this into your sentence, it's going to kind of sound like you made a mistake. They're going to think like, oh, I should correct them. That sounds awkward because it just doesn't, it'll just seem out of place. Like a high advanced form stuck into a beginner level sentence just kind of doesn't feel natural. So because it's not that common, you have to make sure that it gets used perfectly, or it might sound unnatural in Korean. But let me give you a sentence that I made. 길 means the road. 길이 너무, the road is so. Let's do a 미끄럽다. So 미끄럽다 is to be slippery. So we're going to conjugate it. 미끄러워. Normally you'd say 미끄러워요, right? 미끄러워. Now we have 놓다, 놓아서. Or you could just do 나서, right? If you want to do 나서, but we're not. 길이 너무 미끄러워 놓아서 계속. Notice that even though I'm using this 놓다, I'm still using 너무 and I'm still using 계속. Because that's just how unnecessary this form is. Even when you use it, you still also will add in descriptors that talk about how long something happens. But here's an example anyway. So 길이 너무 미끄러워 놓아서 계속 사고가 나요. 사고가 나다 means to have, or literally to occur or to exist. Something happens to occur. 사고, an accident. So accidents occur 계속, continually. Because the roads are continually, long term, 너무, so much. The roads are slippery, 미끄럽다. 길이 너무 미끄러워 놓아서 계속 사고가 나요. There keep happening accidents, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Accidents keep happening because the roads are continually so slippery. So you might be able to say this like after it's been snowing for like a week straight and the snow stops, but the roads are still continually slippery. And you want to emphasize that they're not just really slippery, but they're continually slippery. This state of being slippery is continuing. It's happened a long time and it's still going to happen for a long time. So because it's too cold, you know, the roads can't melt. There's no salt trucks going around. 길이 너무 미끄러워 놓아서 계속 사고가 나요. That's why there are so many accidents, because the road is continually slippery. So I just wanted to give you one example of this. And then again, just know it's not very common, but if you're advanced, you might see this from time to time. But yeah, please don't put this into a regular sentence. Because if you were to just say, 길이 너무 미끄러워 너, it sounds really awkward. It's used as part of a full grammatical construction in a sentence to add emphasis to the fact that something continues for a long time. So if you just wanted to say the roads are continually slippery, you just say 계속 미끄러. Or 오늘도 미끄러. Or they will continually be 미끄러. 미끄러울 것이다. 미끄러울 거야. Or something, whatever you want to say. But yeah, that's what it is though. So in case you see that, yeah, now you know what it is. Okay, that is the lesson today. I will do just 10 minutes of Q&A. So if you have any Korean questions, feel free to ask those now. Someone asked, what's the difference between descriptive verb no-ta and descriptive verb, the regular common verb 있다. 있다 just shows that a state is a certain way. So if you said 여러 있다, I'm sorry, you wouldn't say 여러 있다. That form is used with most often with passive verbs. So 열려 있다 means it is in the state of having been opened and is still opened. I have a lesson about that though. That would take a full lesson to learn it. I wouldn't have enough time to do that really quick here. But yeah, those are completely different forms. So yeah, not related to that. 계속 미끄럼. Yeah. 오늘 수업을 배워둬요. Nice. Mikal. PLN. I don't know what Mikal. What is PLN? Mikal with the line through it. PLN. Someone will tell me what it is. I don't know if it's a big donation or a small donation. I'll never know. Poland zloty. How much is that? Hold on. I don't even know how much that is. $13. Wow, nice. I was like, because I know we had sometimes I would get donations from another currency and it would be like 400. And then you search and it's like $5 or something like that. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it though. Let me give you a dab. Hopefully you can remember 기억해 두세요. Remember today's lesson long term. Bruh, I literally told you. Okay. Any tips for reading handwriting? I know stroke order, I just slip up on certain letters. Certain letters, you just have to learn them separately. And context will really help. Because sometimes, even when you know the perfect stroke order, the person might not have written it correctly. They might have written it really quickly and skipped one of the strokes. The only way to know that would be from context. So, for example, something simple like, you could read this as 지금 because you see like that, and then you see the completion of like the miam like that. So 지금, you could probably read this as 지금, but if you get, but that's not that bad. This is actually pretty easy to read. But if you get something like that, even if you know the stroke order, it's possible that they wrote it really fast and it looks like this. This would be 한국. But if they wrote it really fast, maybe they missed that stroke, or maybe their pen didn't have ink during that stroke. You would have to know it by context. You'd have to know, oh, what is 한국? Oh, it's 한국, of course. You just have to know it by context. So it all comes down to, stroke order will really help though. So like stroke order will let you get 99% of the way there. So that's how you can even read this in the first place, is stroke order. You know that this is not a two, this is a 기억. And this is like that. But then you need to get that last 1%, you have to know context. So that'll just come with getting better at the language. 노타 and 두다 used in sentences with connectors like 고 and other connectors. I read that it could talk about two actions. Yeah, well you could finish 노타 with 놓고, like 해 놓고 가다, like do something and leave it that way and then go. Like 설거지를 해 놓고 갈게. I'll do the dishes for later. Like I gotta go home and do the dishes. 그럼 설거지를 해놓고 갈게. I'll do the dishes first in advance and leave them done, and then I'll go. So like let me go home and quickly get the dishes done, and then I'll go. Like that. So yeah, it's used like that with 고 all the time. But the meaning of 노타 and 두다 aren't changing though. And if this had been a full-on intermediate level lesson, we would have done more examples where 노타 is used in combination with different forms. But the literal meaning doesn't change. The way it's used is the exact same, no matter what it's used with. The no-ta form still has that same meaning. 싶어서. Oh, Tiffany, stay by day. That's just the connector 서. And I did a full live stream about that. I think that was like my first or second live stream. 두다 돼. When did you start learning Korean? 15 years ago. 재생. Is there a difference? Yeah, those are completely different words. 재생 is just to replay. 재생. So if you see on a video, the button might say 재생. Replay. 재 means re. 생 means broadcast or play something. And 틀다 is to switch something on in the first place. So yeah, unrelated words. Plus, 재생하다 is typically for things like, well, it can be used for audio too, but it's typically like video these days. That's when you'll see it most of the time, like replay. Or rewatch something, like a broadcast, rewatch a broadcast. 문을 닫지 않게? No, you wouldn't be able to say it like that. Because that wouldn't mean literally even to leave the door open. You could say, 열려 있게, so that it is open, 열려 있다, with the 있다 form that the other user had asked about. 열려 있게 해놓다, or 하다, 열려 있게 하다. Literally, I made it so that the door was left open, or 열려 있게 해놨어. But it's just really unnatural. But literally, you could say something like that. But yeah, it would have to literally mean that. And the 게 하다 means to make it so that something does something. And we talked about that last week in the 도록 lesson as well. Me, my, me. Yeah, you're welcome. 너 아세요 would be 너 으세요. So someone asked me about the honorific form. 너 으세요. Remember, the honorific is 으세요. It's not 아세요. It would only be 아세요 if the verb itself had that in there. Oh, another donation. Scott, what do you think is the best way to memorize vocabulary? I think, let me give you a dab also. And I think I didn't give a dab for my Mikat's donation either. Thank you both of you. For memorizing vocabulary, I prefer paper flashcards because I think they take the most effort to make. So because they take the most effort and time to make, you memorize the words better. But when you're dealing with thousands of words at a time, paper flashcards aren't practical. So I'd recommend like Anki, which is a free program. Although I know Apple charges for that program, but Android's free and Windows is free. Desktop versions are all free. So I recommend that if you have lots of flashcards. But if you're just trying to memorize a few hundred flashcards, I would really emphasize trying out paper flashcards, because when you're writing those and you're like looking at yourself writing it and you're saying the word out loud, you'll memorize it much better than if you type it. So I always used paper flashcards and paper quizzes when I memorized vocabulary, and it was really helpful. Though if you feel totally comfortable with Anki, use that. Some people still, they prefer Anki, even if they feel it's better than flashcards, even for memorizing stuff the first time. Michael XD means I need to rethink my Japanese. Thanks, Billy. I can say 엄마에게 이미 알려줘놨어요. 알려줘놨어요. I told her already. That wouldn't be like I let her know. That would be like I informed her. It's not so much this like I talked with her. It's just I told her. 알려주다. Like I told her really quick. Okay, yes, no, what? Whereas 얘기하다 is more like we talked about it. I let her know. Like, hey, is that okay? Okay, just letting you know, blah, 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 like talking. And 알려주다 is just like, hey, this is what's happening. Oh, but what about, it's done. 알려줬어, I let you know. So that's the difference between 알려주다. So you could say that if you just wanted like quickly let her know, like yes or no. Then yeah, 알려줘놨어요. I told her. Typo though, you wrote 엄마. It'd be 엄마. Oh, Tiffany, stay. Yeah, take care. I'm going to be stopping this live stream soon too. I just always do a short Q&A at the end when I can. 가르쳐줘서 감사합니다. Oh, Larissa, yeah, you're welcome. I use Quizlet. Yeah, there's Quizlet. There's Memrise. There's a couple others. I really don't think it matters so much what program you're using. So, I mean, in the end, all it is you're looking at the vocabulary word, guessing what it is, and then relearning the ones that you missed, right? That's all it is. So you can do that with paper, Anki, Memrise, Quizlet. There's probably a bunch of other ones. In the end, it's all the same thing. It's not going to be like one works the best. It's what works best for you. Though whatever you use, the longer you spend making the flashcards, the more time you get exposed to it, and that's good. So if you want to just use Anki, but you want to take your time writing them, like you think about the word, you say it out loud, you try to make a sentence, it's going to be just as good as a flashcard in the end. That mom voice. Do you worry about remembering everything that you read in Korean? What do you mean? Remembering everything. 찾았다. You making a workbook number 2? I don't know. Someday, I guess. But I don't know when, because like I said, the workbook took a full year to make. It was extremely a big project to do. Much harder than making the actual book. And then the thing is, I know if I make a workbook 2, then I make a workbook 3, of course, it wouldn't sell very much compared to if I made a different book. And like, I have to also think like, I need to eat, I need to pay my rent. I have to make sure I'm doing projects that can also earn money at the same time. So do I want to do a project that's going to take a full year or 2 to make and then only make a little bit of money? Or do I want to do a different project that might only take 6 months or 4 months to make and will make the same amount of money or a little more? So yeah, I do want to do workbooks. I do want to do a 2 and 3 workbook, but not right now. I want to make sure I can do some other projects first. And then when I'm less stressed about, can I make rent and stuff like that? Then yeah, I want to go back and do workbook 2 and 3. Workbook 1 though, in my opinion, was the one that I had to get done. So I always wanted to do workbook 1 because in the beginning, you really need that experience. You really need that practice in the beginning so that you don't fall away right away. But workbooks 2 and 3 are a little bit less, I'll say a little bit less important that you're getting the practice because there's so many places you can practice once you know the grammar in book 2, at least. So that's why workbook 1, I'm just like, I really want to make sure they have a lot of opportunities to get their feet really planted in this. That way, once they're in this basic, the ecosystem, they have so many places they can go. So that's kind of the reason why. So we might get another reading book next. I'm not sure. I'll see how is that selling. I know this is kind of like boring conversation talking about like sales or like reasons why I published this book or this book. But yeah, just letting you guys know honestly, the reason why I haven't done workbook 2 or 3 yet. My ultimate goal is I want as many people learning Korean as well as possible. So I want people to get up to the stage where they don't need me. That's what I want. As fast as possible too. Cupcake toppers, that'd be nice. Yeah, there's hardly any workbooks. Yeah, I understand that. And plus, especially for self-study books, there are even fewer. There aren't very many self-study books in the first place. There aren't very many good self-study workbooks out there, or self-study books in general. Most books for Korean are made for classroom uses, so there aren't very many self-study works. Sorry, I keep saying workbooks. There aren't that many self-study books in the first place. And then of those, there are only a few which I would think are pretty good. I like Talk to Me in Korean's books. I think those are pretty good. But yeah, I understand. If you thought about teaching English in Korea, I did that. That's when I was in Korea, I was teaching English. That was a long time ago. Oh, good teachers always. Thank you. Yeah, what I mean is that I want people to get to the level where they don't need me to learn Korean. Like they could still always, get some lessons and learn some stuff from me, but that they would be able to go anywhere and get lessons from any material and be able to, think on their own and learn from other sources and take everything with a grain of salt, kind of be the skeptic and learn everything and pick out the good stuff from every lesson, kind of like that. I want people to be able to expand to that level. And to do that, I'm just thinking about, well, what do they need? They need grammar. I need to emphasize grammar. They're going to need some practice for that basic grammar. They're going to need some practice exposure to real world situations, stuff like that. Anki, Quizlet, paper flashcards. Yeah. The workbooks. Yeah, I recommend the PDF version then, because I think that's much cheaper. The reason is because the workbook was actually, the thing is, if you see the workbook, I'll show you. The workbook is 176 pages. So you might think, oh, it's not that long. It's actually originally almost 300 pages. I spent a full week cutting this book down to fit under 200 pages. Really. It was because of like the font size, the size between like lines, the size of photos, all that stuff was making this thing gigantic. I think it was like 280 pages or something like that before I started cutting it down. So yeah, I got over 100 pages cut down just by adjusting the font size and like, you know, the size between the spaces and everything like that. But I couldn't make it too small because you have to still be able to read it, and you know, still has to be enough space to write your answers. So yeah, it's big. That's one of the reasons why this book took so long to write, just because it's gigantic. And then on top of that, audio files for that, you know, it took a lot of work to do audio files for that. Okay. Any other quick Korean questions? Larissa Korea. I'll stop this live stream in like 2 minutes. Don't worry. I wish the workbooks. Oh, let's see. Attended a Korean university. Korean lessons. Yeah, I have taken Korean lessons as well. But that was also a while ago. I think that was like 2010, 2009, maybe. I had a couple Korean lessons. Not very many though. And no, I haven't been to a Korean university before, except like visiting a Korean university. I visited most of the universities in Korea. Let's see. Jamaica. Nice. Since you're in Busan, no Busan dialect in this stream. Yeah. Yeah, for Busan dialect, I lived in Busan, but I purposely did not want to speak like Busan with Busan dialect. So I purposely just focused on learning standard Korean dialect, but people all around me were using Busan dialect. So at least half the people I was hanging out with were Busan dialect. And still today, some of my friends are, one of my friends, I don't like push his personal information out. One of my good friends in Korea, he is 100% like Busan, like really, really Busan, like thick Busan dialect. And he's really funny. I really like him. He's like always like smiling and stuff. And he's got this thick intonation. And everyone else loves it too. All of his, the other Koreans that hang out with him too also talk about that. Like, oh, he's like so like strong Busan. He's not like acting or anything. That's just him. That's his normal voice. And yeah, I love talking with him. So I have no problem understanding Busan dialect, but just for me, I don't speak it myself. I didn't want to use it. There already is, if you want to hear a non-Korean person speaking Busan dialect, there is already Robert Holly in Korea. He's pretty famous. He speaks Busan dialect. So at the time I didn't want to copy him. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll just learn regular Korean. I don't want people thinking I'm trying to copy someone else. Like I'll just be my own thing. And I was more interested in just standard Korean at the time. So yeah, but some people really like Busan dialect. So thick intonation. Yes, exactly. With 2 C's. Yeah, it's great though. He is so much fun to talk with. Everything he says is like hilarious because he's saying it in Busan dialect. And like, it sounds like, you know, like a movie character, the way he talks. He also has like a really low voice. I wanted to feature him in a video actually, but the one day I was going to hang out with him, it rained in Korea last year. I was going to have him in a video with me, but it was raining. So I couldn't have him in the video and he was busy working. So it didn't work out, but someday I'll feature him in a video. Yeah, he's hilarious. He's like the thickest Busan dialect of anyone that I know. And I think he's a little bit younger than me too. So yeah. All right. So everyone, thank you again for coming to the live stream. Make sure to check out the Discord channel. Let me see, let me put another Discord. Make sure to check out the Discord channel. You can feel free to practice this form, no-ta and to-da in there as well after this live stream is over. Thank you for coming. Thank you again to all my donations today, my supporters, you lovely people. Poya S, RS Manhunter, Mikal with the letter thing going through it, Carrie Rich, Grandpa Mikey, Muku, Lynette, Beatriz, and Scott for all of your support. And also remember, this outline for today's live stream will be online within about 30 minutes or so. So check that out too. I will see you guys again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Okay, see, how do I get, where's the bus to go back to Seoul? I don't even know where this bus is. Gotta get back there.